Some Delta State stakeholders have approached the federal high court in Asaba, praying for an order to stop the state's independent electoral commission from conducting the July 13, 2024 local government elections in 3 local government areas. The plaintiffs, which include Dembofa Ewekwedo, Sheriff Mulade, Sylvester Adowe, Emmanuel Igete, and Midwest Kukuru Esquire, all maintain that the election should not hold in Warri South, Warri Southwest, and Warri North local government areas of the state. In the suit, the plaintiffs demand a declaration that the second defendant cannot conduct council elections in the 3 councils of Delta State without the first defendant establishing fresh polling units in compliance with the judgment of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. They also prayed the court to order a declaration that the first defendant, INEC, cannot release its register of voters of polling units in three of the councils of Delta State to the second defendant, the DSIEC, in order to conduct local government council elections in the aforementioned local government councils without fresh establishing polling units in compliance with the Supreme Court of Nigeria judgment in appeal. Well, joining us for this conversation is Ishekiri-born and Niger Delta activist, Rita Lori-Ogbebor. She'll be discussing the lingering controversy over the delineation of wards in 3 contentious local government councils of Delta State, as well as which could lead to a clash between the Ishekiris and Urhobos. Hopefully not, but great to have you on Arise News. Thank you for joining us here on Newsday.
Thank you, Dr. and Awal.
Thank you. So it's a lot of legal speak that I went through in the introduction. For those who might not be very well versed in the case that is going on, can you give us maybe a plain English summary of exactly what the issues are at stake in this case?
The history of the Urhobos and the Ijaws fighting with the Shekiris is very historical indeed. But the Shekiris have tried, especially when there are people who don't want violence. They believe in the law courts. Everybody, they believe that the Shekiris, if you beat them to Supo, the only place they will go to is the law courts, which you have been doing. This particular, the reason is the Shekiris are the owners of Warri, and it's called Warri Kingdom. There's been legal judgments, and all the legal judgments have proved beyond reasonable doubt that the Shekiris are the owners of Warri. They've attacked the crown, the Olu of Warri, in several judgments from the lowest court of our land to the Privy Council, and that case has been settled. But they will not, has been settled. The Olu of Warri matter is settled. But this seems to give our neighbors nightmares, and they cannot accept it. So they try to attack us in every possible way. They go legally. Legally, we have won all the cases. Now they are beating us to Stupo. They believe the Shekiris will not fight. They want peace. So that is violence. And that violence is telling a lot on us. Let us come quickly to what actually why I am raising an alarm now. I'm raising alarm because there is a case that is going on now where the Ijaws are asking, or they are asking for illegal words. And these legal words have been created for them long time ago. And of course, the only way we know best is to go to court. It is quite clear in our constitution that the structure of the federal government regarding the word, the local governments, and so forth is clear that every ward all over the country has 10 wards in every local government. The Warri local government, the Warri Kingdom has 3 local governments, each one 10 wards. The Ijaws the same, the Robos the same. This was in 1992. It is clear. And we enjoyed that privilege, or that was what was on until 1996, 97. Suddenly, the new body, which is called NECOM, invented 12 words. The Shekris again went to court. And we said, no. According to our constitution, 10 words is what is stipulated for the 3 local governments and all the other words in the Delta State. Why do you select the Warri Kingdom, that is the Warri local government? Why do you select us? Why do you take us out? That you are going to add more words. And you are doing that knowing fully well that knowing fully well that to do that, we have to have a referendum. The Shekris have to be in the know. You don't just do things and put aside the constitution, because you know that going through the constitution, we've defeated you several times in the court. So the court then told them, go back to the federal constitution, 10 words. And that was in 1996, 97. They went back. Then 2003, they were back again. They smuggled that in. We complained again. The court is our refuge. We went back to court. And the court, under Justice Tamar, told them that they were wrong. They should go back to the federal constitution. They only went there. They didn't care. They undermined the law. Still, in order to avoid problems, violence, we went back to court. They got there and swore on oath. One Mohammed, Sani swore on oath that they've been obeying the order. Well, because we took them there for contempt of court. When they went on oath and they swore on oath, Justice Abang there said, okay, I give you 60 days in which to comply. Go back to the constitution. They undermined us, and the court, the country, the constitution. So now we have gone back to court because it's our only refuge. We are a small people but very vital to that area. One, we own the land, but we are not saying people should not stay. But what we produce 2/3 of the country's oil. You don't hear us making noise. We allow everybody to stay, have peace. Peace is what we want. The Oluwafori is doing everything, going all over the place, trying to make himself accessible to everybody so that we can have peace. But no, what they want is to rule worry. That is actually the problem we have. And of course, at this stage in our country, where even soldiers, an officer is killed. There's tension. We are tensed. Because it's not a joke to kill a soldier and to kill an officer. Personally, I cannot sleep on my bed. No, because these are people who swear to defend me. And if they are killed, what do you say of me? That is why I have run. I am running to all Nigerians to come to the Niger Delta. The Niger Delta is not the Niger Delta of everybody. It's the Niger Delta of Ijaws. And at this rate,
Chief Lori-Ogbebor,
the federal government has made it worse.
No, thank you very much, for giving us, thank you so much for the detailed explanation that you have given us, and I hope that the appropriate authorities are listening. But, you've said a couple of things, which is the fact that several times there's been contempt of court order. So, I'm just really wondering, what are your thoughts about the rule of law in Nigeria? Does it really exist? That's the first part of my question. And then the second one is, what is the way out of this crisis? What do you want the authorities to do to resolve this crisis?
My dear, you are talking to an 80-something-year-old woman who was here when we had independence. It is amazing that law and order has been thrown out of our lives. When I was a young lady in your Nigerian television service, I used to drive my small Beetle car from Victoria Land to Surulere. I feared nobody. Nobody stopped me. But today, you know what is happening. And what is happening says one thing. We cannot patch this government. The situation we have found ourselves, we cannot patch anymore. When our forefathers went to ask for this country, Nigeria, a lot of us, we signed it, and the Constitution stipulated our difficulties and how to solve them. One of them is the Wilkin Commission for minorities. Minorities today are nothing but, they say it all over the place. Let the minorities have their say. The majority will have their way. It is pathetic. It doesn't help anybody to develop. People like us, who has contributed a lot in the economically to this country, and otherwise, we are weak. We are tired. So the only solution just now, in the meantime, why I have come here, I have written to the police, because police is aware of this tension. I've written to the Army Defense Headquarters. I've written to Ribadu to tell him of the imminent danger in the Niger Delta. And I don't want anybody to make a mistake to think that the problem is Niger Delta is a tribal problem. It's not. It is a way to start a crisis, and then this crisis will turn the whole country upside down. The last one they did. We just managed to keep our heads down. We lost a lot of our children in that fight. But I think now, our children too are hot-headed now. Because if you continue to take their property and beat them to stupor, they will now learn to fight for themselves. Lastly, the federal government has done something to us and to that area by weaponizing the Ijaws. Because you feel that if you don't do that, they don't take over the place, you will not be able to get money, oil money. But don't forget, the oil money is in our area. It's the checklist that produce 2/3 of the oil in this country. So why do you want to kill us for that? We are not God. We didn't say God should put it in our place. So the long term is we have to change, we have to look into this constitution and give everybody the right to live. The right, whether majority or minority, we must have a right to everything that is necessary for us to live our children, raise our children, and give good quality of life to our children.
Very well said. Chief Rita Lori-Ogbebor, thank you so much for your words this afternoon, and we sincerely hope that this crisis abates. Thank you so much for joining us for this discussion here on Newsday.